Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet.
Mr. McCoy, Mr. Scott, you heard it?
Jim.
Captain James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Captain James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise.
Welcome to Greatest Trek, This Old Enterprise. A show where we're watching Star Trek, the original series, until new Star Trek comes back. I'm Ben Harrison.
I'm Adam Pranica. We were just talking about outages in our life and
Yes.
how mysterious they are because they often don't come with any sort of reason or answers. Things just kind of fail, and then, like in the case of this example, like the internet will just blurt back on again, and that's normal life, right? Things just go away and things come back, and we just got to deal with it.
We recorded 2 episodes of our smash hit patrons-only podcast, Wholesome, this morning. I got off that. I had about half an hour in between that and therapy session, and I decided to use that to get in a little exercise. So I was on the rower.
Wow. Good job by you.
And the lights just blinked off and blinked back on. And what I should have done is file that away and say, nothing will be the same after this. Like we went through a wormhole. I need to triple check all of this shit. And instead, I just sat down at my computer to record this episode thinking everything will be fine. And I sent you the link to the StreamYard and was sitting here for 10 minutes. Didn't even notice that my...
You had no internet, so it wouldn't have gone through.
I think that must have been it. My audio interface got turned off.
Yeah.
All of my inputs and outputs on my computer reset because of that. Everything's fucked.
I got to ask you a question that I think a lot of FODs have on their minds right now. And I'm going to look at them through the camera when I say this.
I see the chat going absolutely buck wild right now.
Do you think this is your fault?
Yes.
The power and internet going out. Do you think if you would
the
just...
power and internet going out, act of God.
Oh, okay.
Or, local day drunk cruising
You hear that,
through.
FODs? Therapy is working.
What I do think is my fault is not having the thought to double check everything when I sat back down at my computer.
I'm glad you're not here wishing that if you had only rode harder, the power would stay on, the internet would maintain.
I rode hard and I put it away wet.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
You absolutely spray and wipe down your own machine, even though it's yours and yours only to use, right?
Nobody else is touching this thing, and yet I keep it dry.
Have to.
But
man. Good for you.
I got those weightlifting gloves that have no fingers on them,
Oh.
for it. Because I don't know if you've spent much time on an ergometer, but you can really, when I was a teenager, I had blisters on every knuckle across my palm on both hands all the time, and I would wrap them in tape, and I would have to leave class because my blisters would pop on my test and ooze.
Jesus.
It was a whole thing. Yeah. It's a really disgusting sport. People don't realize.
Your hands are so soft.
Yeah.
They're just not used to this manual labor that you're putting them through.
I don't know why I didn't use glove technology when I was a teenager. It's saving me so much as an adult. I feel like they were looked down upon as a thing. When I was in the boathouse, if I'd showed up with gloves, people would have been making fun of me and shit. And maybe my coaches would have said it would mess up my technique or something.
Right. I'm seeing a box in the corner of the window there, and I think I now know the brand of gloves you're using. Gape gloves, Ben?
Yeah.
Huh.
These are the same gloves that the goatsy guy used to get things working out.
Jeez. What better segue is there than that imagery into today's episode of the original series, Ben? What do you say we answer the timeless question? A question maybe without an answer. Maybe we can come up with one during the episode today. In our order of episodes on Paramount Plus, episode 8, what are little girls made of?
NTC 1701. No bloody A, B,
baby formula and blueberries.
What are boys? Boys are snakes and spiders and everything that's gross. And girls are sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yeah.
That holds together.
Is it snakes and spiders, really?
Sticks and stones? What are...
well, it's sticks and stones break bones. So what are...
I would suggest you Google this, but you specifically probably shouldn't. I will. What are little boys made of? The lyrics are subject to controversial interpretations.
No kidding.
Oh, that's interesting. Snips and snails
and puppy tails.
Dogs' tails.
What is a snip?
Oh, isn't a snip a snake?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's Google a little bit further. What is a snip in What Are Little Boys Made Of? Snips refer to small eels.
Wow.
Meaning derived from Cumbrian dialect. Ben, I know you to be familiar with Cumbrian dialect.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Small eels and snails and puppy dog tails. Does that feel like what you're made of?
That's when you're in your refractory period and you can't form cohesive sentences.
Yeah, clearly. You're just sitting there on top of a rowing machine wearing your gape gloves, exhausted and refracting.
Exhausted, refracting, sweaty.
XO3 is where Enterprise is headed at the beginning of this episode. And this is significant to Nurse Chapel, who is on the bridge next to Kirk. And she is feeling the nerves of a person about to be reunited with a long-lost love. Not unlike the way McCoy was feeling a few episodes ago about... Is this Nurse Chapel's one person in the way that Kirk put it to McCoy?
Right. I wondered about that. Yeah, I also wondered just like for a show credited with being as inventive, as unique as it is really remarkable how many episodes have already recycled thematic elements like this.
And visual elements.
Yeah, she is stressed out about Dr. Korby. This guy has been on this planet for a long time, but stopped sending messages 5 years ago.
Ben, when do you blow out the candle?
When do you stop waiting and move on with your life?
5 years.
And we learned that there have been other expeditions to try and find him that failed.
Do we know for how long Nurse Chapel and Roger Korby have been together? Because there's some math to that, right?
Right.
Isn't it like you get over the person a month for every year you're with them? Is that... I feel like that's the advice on the street.
Oh.
That's how long it should take.
In the context of a breakup or in the context of a mysterious disappearance of a guy who is known for poking his nose into alien ruins that maybe he should not?
Especially in his line of work, yeah, I think he's like the fisherman that goes out to sea and doesn't come back. I think you assume death.
You have to assume death when it comes to Korby.
Yeah.
Roger's a very determined man. He'd find a way to live.
When we finally hear from Roger Korby over the radio, we get a bunch of crash zooms to underscore just how crazy it is to hear from Roger Korby. A positively Californian style of crash zooms.
What are you doing here?
He is down there. He knows that it's the entrepreneur that has shown up to his rescue. And after the crashiest crash zoom sequence since the Californians, we go to main title sequence. And when we come back, we learn that he and his expedition, like other members of his expedition, have survived this very cold planet.
Nurse Chapel's like, other people? Fuck! Fuck! You know they're just rubbing themselves together to keep warm. That's like the one thing they teach you in nursing school. If you're in a cold place and you have no portable heaters or whatever, you gotta take off your clothes and rub up against each other. You know that's what Dr. Korby's doing, and he's been doing it for 5 years.
If I find out that one member of his expedition was a super hot, noticeably younger babe, I'm gonna be so mad.
You just hope that's not going to happen at this point. And, I mean, Chapel is given the opportunity to go for a visit right away because Korby is alive and extends an invitation to Kirk to beam down. But hey, just you, all right? He doesn't know that Nurse Chapel is like listening in on the telephone, like right next to Kirk.
This is the thing. Like when you answer on the car phone or, in the conference room, you got to tell the person on the other end of the line who all is listening in so they don't start talking shit.
Here's a question. In the future, when we're dealing with starships and interplanetary communications and so forth, do you just assume speakerphone?
I think in Star Trek specifically, you have to. Nobody but Uhura has a headset in the entire Star Trek universe.
It's true. God, it's probably such a relief to get Uhura on the blower versus anyone else.
Yeah, like
you can talk to her.
Is it just you? This is amazing. Hey, how are you? Kirk's still kind of an asshole.
So once Korby hears Chapel's voice, he feels obligated to invite her down too. That's tough. Korby can't say no.
But the tone of this is weird, right? Because he's like, some discoveries that I have made will require an extraordinary decision by Captain Kirk. Oh, Christine, you can come too. Nice to know you're there.
Yeah. Huh. They beam down and arrive in some ice caves.
This was such a funny beam down because it looks like they beam down to the surface, and we learn that they've been surviving in the underground ruins because planet's so cold. And so it's like, oh, they beam down to the surface of the planet. Why? When everybody's in the caves, and then the camera moves back and reveals that that's just a window. It's a cave window with glass out onto the cold surface of the planet. But they're in the cave. It's nice and warm in here.
It's a pretty great reveal. I lost a ton of money imagining there would be flocking on the bottom and corners of this window. No flocking on a cold window in an ice cave.
They went to the trouble of frosting up some styrofoam in the background here. You got to imagine there was flocking available.
Right. Something feels wrong about this because they were expecting Dr. Korby to greet. This is what he said he was going to do after all. And so Kirk blows up a call to Enterprise and he's like, hey, send 2 security dudes down. And they do that immediately. Rayburn stays right there at the entrance. Matthews goes with Kirk and Chapel. And Ben, I'm ready for there to be a brand new rule of Star Trek that you and I have discovered here, having to do with TOS, which goes like, if you are on screen in the original series Star Trek, you get a name. You get a name and that name is said on screen. This happens all the time.
I feel like specifically, though, if you get a name, it like ups your chances of dying pretty significantly.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So with Rayburn watching the LZ, they start to proceed into the caves, and we learn that the caves are dangerous quickly because Nurse Chapel almost goes off of a cliff. Has to be caught by Kirk. They keep going down, and there's this very, very bright light. This is probably like a 2K, maybe even a 4K. Somebody set up in the cave.
Dr. Brown makes a WrestleMania-style entrance with, like, the backlit light and the music.
Oh, my God! It can't be! It is! Dr. Brown is walking down the ramp!
What a moment. They don't get to luxuriate in any sort of introductions before they hear the sound of Matthews falling to his death off of that cliff that Nurse Chapel almost fell from. How bad is Matthews at doing whatever his job is if he couldn't dodge the giant bottomless pit?
Fool me once, unstable ramp at the edge of a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Shame on Nurse Chapel. Fool me twice, unstable ramp at the edge of a bottomless pit. Shame on Matthews.
It is absolutely out of like an Austin Powers film, the way Matthews screams and then takes a deep breath and then screams again, slightly quieter because of the distance of the fall, and then takes a second deep breath and then screams quieter than that still.
They're looking down this thing and Brownie is explaining like, that does not really have a bottom, and there are no little ledges sticking out or like vines growing out of the side of the wall that he might have magically grabbed onto, like Batman or Indiana Jones or whatever.
There's no hope, Captain. It's bottomless.
And while they're talking about this, the camera cuts to further up the ramp where a big lurch-looking creepazoid guy kind of like shuffles out of the way.
I can't stop thinking about the screaming. And I think it is illustrative of the reason...
Did it at one point in the middle of the scream, he go, "I'm still falling"? I think he said that, right?
I think so, yeah. I think were I to write like a doctoral thesis, ahead of my becoming a psychologist or a psychiatrist, someone who studies behavior, my paper would be about when people jump from tall things, at what point they decide to stop screaming. Because we learned this is a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
And Matthews has a choice. He gives it 3 screams and then he's done, but he's still falling.
It's bottomless.
Maybe he is still screaming and the sound waves just can't travel that far up because he's accelerated. He's at terminal velocity at a certain point.
You're talking about 9.8 meters per second squared.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
How did that just pop out of my brain? I haven't thought about that in 25 years. What?
It's a miracle we even got the recording going today and you remembered 9.8 meters per second square.
Speaking of medical mysteries.
Who are you?
I'm the captain. I'm Captain Kirk. I'm the captain.
Brownie's acting a little weird. He remembers Chapel a little bit, but it seems like his memories are not complete, not total.
I think Chapel's designation as nurse does a lot here to kind of distract us from how weird Brown is being, because she can tell he's acting weird, but she dismisses it as he's been in an ice cave for kind of a long time.
Well, I suppose living here for 5 years.
And when she says that, I'm like, yeah, he has been, hasn't he? Why don't we just chill out on Dr. Brown?
Kirk is like, all right, well, if you say so. I do really want to meet this Korby guy. And we've heard a little bit from Kirk and Spock about Korby, that he is one of the preeminent minds of their generation. Like they study him at Starfleet Academy. Interesting to think about in the context of Strange New Worlds, that Korby's about the same age as Kirk is on this episode and on, I guess maybe he seems older in this, right? He doesn't seem a lot older in Strange New Worlds.
No, right.
But his contributions already ring out in history.
I hate using this word because age is just whatever. But age appropriate is the Strange New Worlds Korby. Right?
I don't think he's not age appropriate in this though, right?
No, not at all. They're just differently aged as characters.
Right.
You would say Nurse Chapel and Dr. Korby are handsome people in a way you wouldn't say about their counterparts in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
You get slapped in the fucking face if you call Jess Bush handsome, and you deserve it.
Yeah. By her, and then by me, and then by Adam.
Yeah.
We'd get in a line. We'd slap your ass. Anyways, yeah. They're going to go down and meet Korby. Kirk is shit's a little suspicious, so he radios up to Rayburn okay, can you get in touch with the ship, talk to them about getting a little bit more of a heavy detachment ready to go in case we need more help down here, because we already have a dead team member, RSVP Matthews.
I love this take of Rayburn turning away from camera. I wonder if this is a choice made by an actor who isn't super confident about showing grief for a fallen comrade. Because you don't see him process this, but you kind of feel like something's going on that we can't see.
What were Rayburn and Matthews' relationship,
Hard to know. I think Rayburn might also be preoccupied with how often his name is being used when Kirk communicates with him. Boy, you're kind of saying my name an awful lot, as if Kirk is doing that thing where he's trying to remember your name by saying it a lot in a social situation.
Yeah.
Rayburn sees right through this.
He knows that Kirk is trying desperately not to broccoli him.
Yeah.
Poor broccoli.
He's like, "Gotcha, boss. Will do," and then is immediately killed by the big scary guy. Like the second the phone call is over, RSVP Rayburn.
This is done out of frame, below the frame. Ben, how do you think the hench kills Rayburn?
I mean, he's so big. He's so beefy.
I know. I kind of feel like he just steps on him. Like he pushes him to the floor of the cave and then with a boot just busts his head open like a tomato.
I based on the like tossing of Kirk later, I kind of picture him just like ripping him in half, you know?
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Like, just picking him up and disassembling him.
You know he could. This guy might be one of the strongest. I mean, he's Data strong. We fantasized about all the crazy shit Data could do when we were watching TNG together. Like, this is that.
I don't even know why the scientists make them.
You get it in TOS.
Yeah. As Brown leads Kirk and Chapel deeper and deeper into the caves, he tells a story of how the previous inhabitants of XO3 adopted a mechanistic culture, and that Dr. Korby's discovery down there is going to revolutionize the universe.
Korby has this theory that, like, being free to move around in the sun makes you your best self, and that these people that used to live here went all loony bins when their sun started to dim and they had to retreat underground.
Yeah.
And it fucked them up big time. But they had some really neat technology that Korby is very excited about. And we get into where they've set up their, I mean, they're not roughing it in these caverns. These are nice digs, you know?
Ben, I think you could call the size of this living room cavernous.
Indeed you could. And, you know, like you would think on an away mission like this, you might have to pitch a tent. And they do when Andrea comes in.
Swing! Swing!
Or at least Kirk does.
Tent pole! She's a babe.
In a costume that, frankly, I was shocked by for its time. Holy moly.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like the girl version of the jumpsuits all the men are wearing.
Yes.
But it, like in that it is like the same colors, like crisscross applesauce with each other.
Yeah.
It just has so much less material overall.
And what's going on here seems pretty pervy, doesn't it?
She has got compliments for Nurse Chapel right away in that kind of... The vibe that Nurse Chapel has is paranoid about an ex-boyfriend going away to college, and then he went and made new friends while he was there, and now she is meeting those friends and has some paranoia about what he might have done with these friends.
I don't remember Dr. Korby mentioning an Andrea.
Right, because you could forgive her for getting the wrong idea based on what Andrea is wearing.
Yeah.
Even though that's just the uniform. That's just business attire when you're on this away mission.
If Nurse Chapel had any doubts about his fidelity, it seems like those are gone when Korby walks in and like lays a kiss on her like he's in Times Square and just returned from the WOA.
Yeah, I mean, Andrea went to great lengths to say, like, oh, Dr. Korby talks about his fiance all the time. It's so nice to meet you. You're so pretty. That does not reassure Nurse Chapel even a tiny bit.
No.
The great big kiss sure does.
Right.
And Kirk is like, okay, well, now that everybody's, like, met each other, I got to call up my guy Rayburn again. And Corby's like, no. I told you just you. What are you talking about? And Brown skins the strap and aims it at Kirk. And they're like, we're not talking to anyone. I told you, like, big decision needs to be made. This is not something that you're running by anybody on the planet or on the ship.
Korby doesn't want more people sent down there. This is a terrible situation for him. Andrea tries to take the phaser from Kirk, and he fights back and shoots Brown.
Yeah, like a very interesting moment when Andrea like approaches Kirk because he turns her into a hostage for like a moment.
Mm-hmm.
which is like ooh, I don't know if I love this move for you, Kirk. Like taking hostages is never like a save the catable offense. And then he like shoves her out of the way and goes and hides behind Korby's desk. And I was like, all right, nice move, Kirk.
And yet, who wouldn't want to get close to Andrea in a moment like this?
He shoots Brown and the lurch guy comes in. And when the dust settles, it is clear that Brown was a robot. He had wires and servos inside of him, not guts.
It's just too bad that Dr. Brown wouldn't survive to achieve his ultimate goal of like, you know how like when the boss achieves, often opportunities are given to those below them to do their side projects and become successful too. Dr. Brown, of course, also ascribed to a mechanistic culture. He's got a canning facility down there. And on the line, you've got the cherry soda, you got the cream soda, you got the celery, you got all the flavors. And I just don't think any of this is going to make it to market.
It's a long shot that celery would ever be a viable consumer packaged good, but Brown believes in it.
It's incredible. It just cuts through the salt of the meat.
Right. Yeah. If you're eating pastrami on rye, like what could be better?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Kirk radios up to the ship, and it's not Kirk. It's Ruck, we learn, is the name of this big, tall, bald man that has been going around killing everybody. And Kirk has kind of become the hostage at this point. And what Ruck is telling the ship is basically like, stand by, like, our security guys are dead, but like otherwise, like everything's going just fine. We just got a lot of like stuff to put on the manifest and package up to get ready to pick these guys up and take them to the next spot they're going. So don't you worry your pretty little head, Commander Spock.
I got to ask. I wonder if other people thought the same thing. When you look at Ruck, is he a Mr. Hom? Was Mr. Hom a Robo and we just didn't know it? Because they look very similar.
They really do.
Is this guy into chimes? That's one thing we don't learn about Ruck here is like how much he likes playing a triangle.
Yeah, when Ruck is tying one on, does he enjoy striking a tone every time he knocks a shot back?
Yeah.
That should be a part of the Zindi arc square on our board game, by the way.
What, the drinking and striking of the bell or just the bell part?
Must he do that?
Maybe we just add a square. It's a Mr. Hom square. It's same premise, but you also have to hit a gong or whatever.
Are we just trying to annoy our viewers?
No.
You're right.
It's the only way to be free, Ben. Eventually they'll hate us.
Spock, this bag does not contain platinum, silver, or gold. I must find it.
Hi, sir. I'm Captain James C. Kirk.
Kirk unit.
Stand by the fire.
So Ruck has the ability to mimic anybody's voice, we've learned.
This guy's voice work is great.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And Korby's like, Kirk, I know this seems crazy, but this is necessary. Like, there's technology down here that I've discovered that is going to change everything. But, like, I need you to learn enough about it to make an informed decision. Like, I can't just have you, like, making a knee-jerk reaction to a elevator pitch about it. Like, I need you to, like, really experience it and make the final judgment of an expert and not somebody who has just fucking been told the briefest amount.
If I'm Kirk, I'm like, what the fuck, man? You invited me down here to make a decision. Now, don't tell me how to make that decision. You get me, Kirk, making decisions just like you asked.
There's some conversation about Ruck, the very talented impressionist.
Yeah.
And Kirk gets Korby to do a little bit of light programming on Ruck, which is that Ruck will not harm or disobey Christine Chapel specifically. And Korby's like, all right, dude, I need you to stay down here with me for 24 hours while we go through my discoveries so that you don't go up and start like filing reports with Starfleet and getting people way above your pay grade making terrible choices about what I want. And Kirk is like, I would be more open to this if you hadn't murdered a couple of people when I came down here.
Or as like a trust fall, kind of doing the, see how I can order a person to not hurt Nurse Chapel? See, I'm not bad. Kind of a demonstration. Like this isn't pervy and weird in any way.
What's the deal with Andrea? Is that like the costume that she wants to be wearing? I mean, it's obviously her right to wear whatever she wants. I'm just saying.
This whole scene is weird. Weird enough that Kirk wants to run away from it, which he tries to do, except Ruck grabs him and throws him down from behind. And we cut over to where Nurse Chapel and Andrea are talking. I thought this was a totally separate place. No, this is just a different part of the cavernous room they're in.
I was so confused by this. I also thought that these were two scenes happening in parallel.
Chapel has carried forward the energy of the previous scene, like still feeling a great amount of jealousy for Andrea being Korby's new friend. And this familiarity that she has with him is kind of off-putting and upsetting. There is kind of a lot riding on Korby from here on to demonstrate what these androids can do, and it is just so important not to report any of this to the ship yet. You really got to get the full lowdown, Kirk, and you're not going to get it in 15 minutes.
There was some weird, like, mid-century interpersonal politesse stuff here. Like, one of the coolest things about, like, having TV and film going back almost 100 years is you can see, or more than 100 years now, is you can see, like, the way people interacted and, like, what like, social conventions there were. Like, it really fucking burns Nurse Chapel's toast that Andrea is calling Dr. Korby Roger.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, one of the big issues for her is, like, that is too familiar. That's something that somebody that is fucking him would say, not somebody that works for him.
There is the name familiarity, and also, I think, even back then, the very real feeling that the only reason you make a sexy robot is to fuck a sexy robot.
There is so much thematic stuff about Andrea probably being a sex doll, but that is never actually said out loud.
I think that's because Majel Barrett, like, emotes jealousy so well. This is a look I have seen over the course of my life that many women have had. Not about me. Like, none of them have felt jealous about anything.
But you've been in the room with a woman that was
saying.
Feeling jealous about somebody else.
Yes, that's it exactly.
So it's revealed that Andrea is an android when Dr. Korby, like, programs her to get more formal with him. And that's when Chapel is like, okay, you're, like, nailing the sex doll, right? And he's like, no, there's nothing between us. Like, it's not like that. She is like, I don't have any attachment to her because she has no emotions. We could not possibly be attached to each other.
Roger, if you're not fucking the sex doll, why does it say dishwasher safe on its neck? Why would they be dishwasher safe at all? Why is that important, Roger?
Why are the dishwashers that the old ones left behind the size of a closet?
Cut over to a room where Ruck is loading a body blank into a machine. This is a machine that Dr. Korby says makes new androids. And on one side, Kirk's nude body. On the other side, this blank. And this is going to start spinning, centrifuge style. And while it's spinning, Andrea turns a yellow and a red dial. And things are going faster and faster. And one thing I really like about this effect is, like, the midsections of these bodies are what are holding them to the table. But you and I both know centripetal force should make their bodies and their limbs fly outward during the spin. They never do this.
Yeah.
That would be too silly.
I wonder, like, they must have, like, shot this on, like, a very, like, long exposure as the film went through the camera. But, like, it's tricky to do, right? Because you're under cranking at a long exposure to get the right amount of motion blur.
That's it, yeah.
So that when it speeds up, it feels like it's spinning really fast. But yeah, good effect, and we get a perfect copy. We're told that this Kirk doppel will be indistinguishable from James T, because it's like body first and then mental imprint.
This took me some time to figure out because the concept of two Kirks, so fresh, so new, something I've never considered before.
Yeah, and it's like first and last, right? Like first time TOS ever explored this and it never explored it again.
Chapel's made to choose which one is Robo Kirk and which one is no Robo, but she can't. These are just the bodies, crucially. There's no mind yet that's put into Robo Kirk. And that's the next step, putting in the memories and the attitudes and the abilities so that they become indistinguishable.
It's time to eat, and a classic Star Trek The Original Series meal of primary color lumps in brown sauce is served. The Kirk that comes in sits down at this table, and Chapel is like a little puzzled by him.
I love the way this conversation is like the banality of evil. Like, this guy is nuts and dangerous, right? But he is Roger Korby, so what are you going to do?
Chapel knows Korby,
Yeah.
you know. This is a fiance. This is somebody, you know, like she recognizes the shit out of his voice because he's her fiance.
Yeah.
And that implies a deep emotional understanding of Korby as well. Kirk asks her, like, hey, but, you know, fiance or not, like, would you betray him if I, your boss, ordered you to? And she hates the idea of having to choose. She wouldn't want to.
It's a weird question because it's revealed that this is Robo Kirk asking it. But what happened to Flesh Kirk? He's brought in and given a seat and a plate because he's hungry. And he's in the mood to test Robo Kirk about his memories. I like this strategy by him. He's trying to feel out just how good of a copy this is.
Yeah. One thing that I appreciate that they continue to do is put Kirk alternates in different costumes. And Flesh and Blood Kirk is wearing the same jumpsuit as Korby and crucially not the same jumpsuit as Andrea.
Which is too bad. An opportunity missed. That Korby should only have Andrea costumes for all of his androids.
I mean, like, the android's pretty flawless. Like, he remembers everything. He remembers Sam Kirk.
Yeah.
You can't fool this android.
Yeah. Mind is a steel trap.
Because they're made of metal, and robots are strong.
Robo Kirk is invited to leave, and after he's gone, Dr. Korby says, this isn't even the beginning, guys. I can do so much better. I can transfer souls into machines. And you know what that means? Immortality. Imagine the ability to program out bad things like evil and meanness.
This is amazing because you realize that, like, what Korby had in mind was if Kirk had not been all Kirk-like and changed everything about the plan, like, it was just going to be Kirk comes down, gets duplicated, and then Korby would show him why this was such a great technology. Like, this was the sales pitch that Korby had planned out, and he's, like, trying to make it work in a context where, like, two of Kirk's men have already been murdered.
It's incredible that this kind of pitch ever gets greenlit because the pitch goes like, we're going to take a beloved character and then for some flimsy reason, put them in some sort of golem body. And then we're never going to talk about that again, even though it becomes the most significant part of what up until that point has been a truly amazing life. And it kind of destroys everything that came before. Someone heard this pitch and was like, yeah, we should do that.
That's a good idea. That's the direction we should take this character.
Unbelievable.
You haven't made me immortal. Oh, relax, man.
Like many of us, Kirk is trying to think of a way out of this horrific future that Korby is pitching and is secretly...
We could always say no to an idea like this. Like, we don't have to go through with it.
Is that what's going on, though? Is that why it keeps happening? Is that, like, people are, like, trying to loosen some rope from under their chair so that they can get out of it, but all of the office chairs these days don't even have rope in their construction?
I guess not. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen an office chair with a rope in a very long time.
All this power, searching, throbbing.
I'll feel that.
Korby wants to be dropped off at a planet where he can start to produce androids in secret, like like get important people from all over the Federation to start becoming immortal robos.
What does this planet need to have, Ben?
Well, of course it needs to have a lot of raw materials.
Yes! It sure does.
And only then will they reveal the existence of androids. Like they will, like it's a little bit of a TNG conspiracy plot. Like we'll infiltrate all of society with these things and then unveil the existence later, so that people will be like, well, I guess they're already here. It's a fait accompli. Like androids are just the norm now.
Is that what fait accompli means? Like it's too late, I've already done it?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously knew that. I was like putting myself in the position of an FOD you might not know.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty good acting, right?
I thought you really portrayed that beautifully.
Yeah.
Like almost as believable as Ruck doing Kirk's voice into a communicator.
Dr. Korby has made some fascinating discoveries, all under control.
I can also do character work.
Ruck is like, okay, then my next impression is Kirk, but he's like not that worried that 2 away team members are already dead and he's talking to Spock on the communicator. I think that would sound a little something like this.
Stand by for regular contact. Kirk out.
The whole reason for Robo Kirk existing is waved away in such a weird way. Kirk is like, why did you make that? You're clearly going to replace me with him, right? And Korby's like, no, man. No, I just made him to impress you. Aren't you impressed?
He looks great, right? Do you think if you sucked his dick, it would count as gay?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to fuck him, right? We're talking about Final Frontiers. There it sits.
Take it from me, a guy who definitely isn't fucking robots down here. What do you think?
I'm impressed, Doctor. But not the way you think.
Kirk uses the rope from his chair, which, as we've said before, an aspect to chairs that has not existed since Pioneer days.
Yeah, I was picturing like, I bet like Genghis Khan had like a chair with some rope involved in its construction in his yurt.
And even then, I bet people were pretty upset at you wasting rope on chairs.
Yeah. Anyways, he takes a hostage in Dr. Korby this time. And again, immediately ditches his hostage, but he escapes.
Yeah, into the tunnels.
He's running away. Ruck is sent after him. And Nurse Chapel is like, I don't want Ruck to kill Kirk. Like, I mean, I love the shit out of you, Dr. Korby, but this is no good. So she chases after him, and she's trying to invoke the control she has over Ruck to order him not to kill Kirk. But this does not seem to be falling on receptive ears in Ruck.
And Kirk can't depend on that happening. Like, maybe that's true. He's got to find some sort of defensive weapon out in those caves. What do you think he finds?
What would you use to defend yourself if a 7-foot-tall man in a padded dress were chasing after you, Adam?
What do you think a man like that could take on?
The old ones created a race of sex dolls that rose up and destroyed them. I challenge you to find something that I cannot take.
It is the most dildonic stalactite ever. It is so upsetting.
Really?
And Kirk holds it like a Tommy gun. It's so weird how he's holding on to this thing. It's as if he's holding it in a way to make it not look like a dick.
Yeah.
But there's very few ways to do that.
Ruck starts using Chapel's voice to presumably make Kirk not want to smash him with a rock dick, but it's not working. But unfortunately, also, the rock dick doesn't work.
It happens to everyone.
Kirk takes a tumble over the ledge and is at the precipice of the bottomless chasm when, amazingly, Ruck saves Kirk.
I love that we get a commercial break in between these two moments. Kirk hanging from the cliff, staring up at Ruck, into 4 minutes of commercials for Palmolive. And then we're back.
And like Lucky Strike cigarettes and shit.
Yeah. So great.
Up on the ship, Kirk has returned, much to Spock's surprise.
Why didn't we cut to the somersaulting dildonic stalactite falling down the bottomless pit?
Right. Yeah, going past like Alice in Wonderland is falling down this pit.
Like it shouldn't work this way because we know that like the bowling ball and the feather fall at the same rate. But this dildonic stalactite actually catches up with Matthews, or is it Rayburn? Who the fuck knows? One of them down there is falling, and now they're falling together.
Mm-hmm. It falls into him.
Yeah. This somehow got worse.
Up on the ship, Kirk has returned, much to Spock's surprise, and we heard a little of this when before the robot got Kirk's memories and personality loaded into it. It was saying all this stuff about Spock being a half-breed, and some of that has carried forward into the personality of Robo Kirk, who, Spock does not know that he's Robo Kirk, but he is acting cranky and racist, and is gone into his quarters to get ship manifest stuff about the places that the entrepreneur will be headed next.
Ben, I think you're the perfect person to ask if I can't ask Tawny Newsome this question. Is this racist or is it speciesist? It feels like something else when we're talking about aliens.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I used that term because it was close at hand. It's just something I'm always thinking about, but
I shouldn't have laughed that hard. But how there's the taxonomic ranks of domain, kingdom, class, genus. Does that also work with race, species, planet, system?
Right.
Once we broaden the idea of life in the universe, that changes, doesn't it? You add a lot more ranks to it.
You would hope so, but I find it hard to imagine a smug asshole in a utopian future going, speciesism is actually a social construct.
We cut to Darone's great-great-great-great-grandchild.
Is on whatever the most marginal social media platform is in 3221.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Spock plays it off as no big deal, and you hate to see that, right? Spock's got to be able to say something, but he doesn't.
He can't in a work context, and
all he can do is order a security team assembled to get ready to go down to the planet. But it's not about the racist thing. It's about something else. I'm not assembling an armed security team to go after him for speech reasons. You can say whatever you want on this ship.
Right. Nobody should be concerned that I'm amassing a force to go after the captain, but not with his knowledge when he beams back down to the planet.
Yeah.
So Robo Kirk shows Dr. Korby all of these papers that he's brought back down, which is a list of the planets that they're headed to next. And one of them, Midas 5, is a prime option to get dropped off because it's got a small colony and abundant, let's say it together, raw materials.
You cut down to Midas 5, and it is just mufflers as far as the eye can see. So many mufflers. And catalytic converters, too. Think of all the androids you can make with that.
Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Does anyone know what a Midas muffler shop is these days? Probably not, huh?
I liked it.
All right. That's just for you and Bill Tilley.
I think people in the Bay Area specifically who get their catalytic converters stolen 3-4 times a year probably know all about Midas muffler shops.
Local jokes get local work.
If we ever get invited back to SF Sketchfest, do that one on stage. It's gonna fucking kill.
Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta chamber that. For sure.
A bit of flesh and blood. I'm the captain, Captain James Kirk. Who are you?
Hey, let's check in with Flesh Kirk.
Yeah.
Who asks Andrea to kiss him. I mean, she did it before. Maybe she'll do it again. I got the sense that this was a real, what else are you going to do when you're imprisoned on an android planet? Like, let's just do weird sex experiments with Andrea.
Yeah, like, who knows how long I'm going to be here? I might as well entertain myself.
Yeah.
She's not his sex robot. She doesn't like that shit.
She likes the first kiss, but not the second. This one, like, fucks with her programming a little bit.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a good reaction to his passion. Like, he kind of... You know how there's, like, stages to the thing. To the makeout, there's the initial, like, kiss that goes like, all right, cool, like, we're kissing. And then there's the escalation to, like, making out.
Right.
The makeout is the level that Andrea is not feeling.
Like, we're not going to second base.
No.
What's the matter, Andrea? Confused.
She gets out of there pretty fast. And when she leaves, Ruck blocks the door to stop Kirk from following after her. And Kirk asks Ruck what happened to the old ones. Except he can't remember.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
In Ruck's defense, you know, the memory chips get corrupted or whatever. Kirk is like, is it possible that the people of your kind, the Robos, rose up to destroy the old ones? And Ruck is like, you know what? It's all starting to flood back.
Yeah.
We were very capable, and they realized that we were maybe more capable than they anticipated, and they started to switch us off, and it became an existential thing.
It's weird to, like, consider an idea of human beings creating thinking, learning machines, and then those machines quickly rejecting humanity for being unpredictable masters and builders, and then wanting to destroy them. Like, brand new concept to me.
In 1966 or whatever, I feel like this might have hit that way. Yeah. And I really like the construction of it because Kirk is like, isn't that kind of what Korby is proposing to do to our society? And like, shouldn't we be concerned that the same risks are attendant to that?
Right.
Basically.
He goes a little bit further, right? Because once Korby is accused of making the same old mistakes as the old ones did, Ruck, why are you going to protect Korby? Oh, it's very confusing.
I got programmed by him, so it's like hard to overcome your programming. But like this is again like you overthrew the old ones because of the existential threat that they posed to you.
Like as soon as I got switched on, I thought I would be doing like manual labor and like domestic stuff, but all I ended up doing was fucking Andrea while Dr. Korby sat on a chair in a corner.
This is not what Ruck really wants for his life. Feels very, very demeaning.
Ruck wasn't impressed by the dildonic stalactite earlier.
Yeah, so there is a bit of like a logical jujitsu happening here where Kirk is trying to persuade Ruck that Korby is just as much a threat to Ruck as the old ones ever were. And I feel like Korby really fucks himself by walking into the room right at this moment.
What an entrance.
Ruck, I would like...
You brought him among us. You brought the inferior ones.
Suddenly Ruck completely buys what Kirk is selling.
Yeah, and guess what else he buys, Ben? The farm. When Korby shoots him.
Yeah!
He shoots him and he disappears. RSVP Ruck. Korby explains that he had no choice, but I don't think Kirk was ever going to ask him why he did it.
Yeah. Kirk goes for Korby and is quickly fended off, but not before he does a little damage to the back of Korby's hand, revealing, oh shit, Korby made a guinea pig out of himself. He did the full download. He did the emotions also part that he was telling them he could have done with Robo Kirk. He downloaded his entire consciousness into an android, and he's like, well, I can fix this like flappy piece of latex flopping off the bits and bobs underneath the flesh part. Don't worry about me.
It's a wild scene, Ben, when this is revealed because, like, for so long, we've understood Dr. Korby to be a great man. Mm-hmm. A great man who is beloved and cherished by his friends and coworkers.
Yeah.
Probably had a long, distinguished career of doing great things. And this moment, that you realize Dr. Korby has become some sort of robo, you're meant to feel something, like anything at all about the transference.
Yeah.
I felt nothing.
The only thing I felt was, oh, is Dr. Korby also a classical guitarist? Because he wears his fingernails quite long.
Yeah, he plays those plastic strings, the nylon strings. Pretty great. He tries to explain to Nurse Chapel, it's still me, babe. Look at me.
Yeah.
I mean, up here, not the hand. Like, don't look at that. The hand, bad. Face, good.
Yeah, that's gross. Don't look at my hand that I keep waving in your face with the flapping off of it.
Great time for an alarm. Dr. Korby has got to be so happy this alarm is going off. Anything to distract from the hand thing.
Yeah.
Andrea is sent to protect from the security team that Spock has sent down there. And the first one that Andrea sees out in the cavern is Robo Kirk, who she shoots, not knowing he's a robo.
Oh, man. RSVP Doppelkirk.
Yeah. Andrea comes in to tell Dr. Korby what she did, but realizes...
She's so embarrassed at this point.
I mean, she only knows it when she sees Flesh Kirk that she made this mistake.
Yeah.
And mistakes, Ben, don't happen in a perfect world. This is the point that Flesh Kirk is trying to make to Korby. You tried to make this utopia, and all you did was make real dolls. It's fucking awful.
All any of your robots have been doing is murdering people left and right.
Murdering and sucking and fucking. And murdering. Again.
It's just a rinse repeat of murdering, sucking, fucking, murdering.
Murdering, sucking, fucking, dishwasher, murdering, sucking, fucking.
Oh yeah, you gotta go in the dishwasher in between. Yeah. I mean, even the murdering you can sometimes need a dishwash after, depending on how splattery it gets.
If you get some stuff on you during the murder, you gotta go back in the washing machine.
Is that a raincoat? Yes, it is.
At this point, like, Kirk has really made the all of the argument that needs to be made, but Korby is so computer pilled. He starts going like logic and calculation. Like, think of all the calculating I can do. Very funny. Like, it made me think of the computer in Hunt for Red October, where whenever it gets confused, it goes back to magma displacement. Like, whenever Roger Korby gets confused when he's in his robot body, he goes back to like beep boop shit. And really starts to undercut his own argument, let's just say.
Kirk senses this moment of weakness and he goes like, look, if Robo Korby is really as good as human Korby, then you'd know that you got to give over the phaser at a time like this. You just can't hold up a captain of a starship and I'm just going to say like super hot sex doll robot. Like, you got to give me the phaser. You can't stick us up like this.
And I'm saying this, acknowledging that you yourself are also a super hot sex doll robot. Like, I'm not saying you're not also that. You just got to give up the phaser.
In some ways, I mean, folks back at the Academy called me kind of a sexual robot.
You ever been to an IKEA, Dr. Korby? You know that machine that demonstrates the durability of that one particular chair that they're so proud of?
Yeah.
That was kind of me at the Academy.
Yeah. Just pounding those Robo Buns.
Grabs the phaser. He wants to go get Andrea's gun also, but she won't give it up because she wants to prove a point.
Yeah.
And the point she wants to prove is that maybe robots can evolve too. Maybe they can also express and experience the emotion of love. And she and Dr. Korby are like getting closer and closer, and she's like, what if we kiss? What if we experience the emotion called love together?
They're about to experience something else together, because during this embrace, during this kiss, I played this back many times to be absolutely certain of this, Korby pulls the trigger on this phaser and kills them both. How about that?
RSVP them.
Nurse Chapel is crushed, and I think she's just mostly angry that she doesn't get to confront Korby actual about the fucked up things he did down there, and they're 5 years apart.
I wonder how long ago his body was dumped, wherever it got dumped. Like, there's a corpse, right?
the camera finds Kirk in the room, and he's like, God, Nurse Chapel, I guess you could say Dr. Korby had his own 5-year mission.
Spock and the security dudes show up and find Kirk and Chapel alone, and they're like, well, where's Korby? And Kirk has a great line.
Dr. Korby was never here.
And we're back on the ship now, and we're flying away. I didn't realize this was on the table, but Christine Chapel has decided to stay aboard the ship.
What do you think her other choice was? Leave her on XO3?
Well, I guess were they planning on picking up Korby and then she would just go with him wherever because they were betrothed?
I don't know.
They didn't have any reason to think he was still alive when they first showed up, but
yeah.
Anyways, she's decided to stay aboard. We also have a very interesting moment at the end of this episode where Spock calls the captain on the term half-breed.
You must admit, it is an unsophisticated expression.
And I wasn't totally clear on whether Spock knew that he was talking to Robo Kirk when Kirk called him that. But I was really glad that he brought it up and was like, that was entirely out of line.
I love how Kirk doesn't tell Spock that it wasn't him, that it was a Robo and not him. Instead, all he says is, yeah, I'll think about not putting it that way next time.
Well, he specifically says next time we're in a similar situation. And I was like, you fucking idiot. You've been in 8 similar situations so far this season.
What is the situation that he's talking about? Getting mad at Spock?
Becoming a robot? Becoming a doppelkirk? That happens all the time at your job, dude. You actually do need to take this advice to heart.
Did you like this episode, Ben?
Captain James T. Kirk, I believe, I would have surprise.
I don't believe in the no scenario.
Oh, what a fun episode. Light and silly in the way that TOS often is, but, coming to this in 2025 when the idea of robots with human feelings has been explored to death in popular media. I just finished watching Alien Earth, which I feel like is a vastly less sophisticated exploration of this same idea.
Yeah.
This does feel a little bit trite and warmed over now, just because we've seen so many runs at this concept of a sci-fi story. But this was early, and I think it gets a lot right, and a lot of the interesting questions about what that would be like are asked and answered in this episode in a way that so many of the things that came after it didn't get as insightful on. So I thought it was really cool to see that.
I agree with you largely about that. Up until 30 seconds from the end of this and every other episode we've watched of TOS. I feel like you could do a shot-for-shot remake of all the episodes we've seen. The thing that betrays the story for its time is that 30 seconds at the end, which is so often a clang or just some sort of weird aside way of changing the tone of the entire episode that we saw before. I think all of the episodes we've seen would benefit from those last 30 seconds being removed.
Yeah.
And if this episode had just ended with Kirk saying that Dr. Korby was never there, and we throw to credits, that shit gives me the chills. That's a modern TV show ending. But for some reason, this show feels the need to kind of right before the credits in a way that it forces you to take it less seriously.
Why at the end of every episode of the original series is somebody pouring themselves a cup of coffee and then we go to freeze frame and the coffee keeps pouring into the cup?
It feels like that. And it's funny and it's charming, but man, hard sci-fi doesn't do that. And I wonder if, because this was made for a broad audience who only had 3 channels on their TV, if you're not trying to make hard sci-fi. You're trying to make an interesting story in a sci-fi context that is palatable for most people, and television shows of this time have that slide whistle, Naked Gun style freeze frame ending. You just do. That's the rule.
Well, you want to see if there's anything slide whistling in the P1 inbox?
That's a rule too.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Adam, we got a P1. It's from Jack in Melbourne, Australia. It's to Charlie in Melbourne, Australia. I was stressed that one of these was going to be in Florida.
Yeah, thanks for being specific. You have to be specific after that one package you opened.
That's true. So it goes like this. Firstly, congrats on being... Oh, should I do this in the accent? Firstly, congrats on being a homeowner.
God, I'm glad you're the one doing this. You're so good at that. Ah!
Love that for you and the family. Secondly, it's so great partnering you in tennis competition again. I've missed the adrenaline rush of your serve rocketing over my shoulder in doubles.
That's good.
Thirdly, thanks for being such a thoughtful and reliable friend. Love you, bud. Now let's go win that WRTA title.
Go!
Go! Win the title! I was just rewatching Lord of the Rings movie, and there's like a guy going like, fire! And then like the arrows like whiz past his head.
Yeah.
That's how I'm picturing this serve, just like rocketing past.
Oh,
you know,
good reference.
Like Jack's maybe got like some wispy hair, and Charlie's ball, like you see it like blow in the breeze as the ball whizzes past.
I always think about that. Like, I played doubles tennis in middle school and high school, and I had the hardest time not looking back just to see the action.
Yeah.
And I think about this all the time in different sports, like the linemen in football don't get to watch football. They're just blocking and tackling.
Yeah,
it's such a different experience for them.
You respond to stimulus and you just like surge forward.
Yeah. It's so weird, isn't it?
It's weird, but Jack and Charlie they sound like great mates, Adam.
Hell yeah. There you go.
It sounds like being in that friendship is heaps of fun.
Ben, I feel like you could go to Australia right now and not even need your Langenscheidt translation dictionary. Is that the yellow one? Am I getting that right?
I don't know, but it sounds funny.
Let me look it up. Langenscheidt! He did it!
Wow!
What a pull!
The crowd goes nuts! All right, if you'd like to get a P1, it's MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Oh, no! Hey, Adam.
What?
Did you find yourself an Edward Larkin? Edward Larkin!
I got two, Ben. That moment where Nurse Chapel kind of butts into the phone call with Korby. There are two very conspicuous crew people on the ledge behind them. Mm-hmm. And the framing goes like foreground left, Kirk in the captain's chair. Foreground right, Chapel, listening in on the phone or whatever. And then in the middle of them, in the composition, these two randoms walk in, and the dude random, I swear, clocks her ass, like several times. But then the lady random, this guy's companion, they are both close enough to be not just coworkers, but closer than friends, let's say. And they are both delighted that Nurse Chapel has finally gotten a hold of Korby, like they're watching a rom-com and the big reveal has happened or something. They're so distractingly happy for someone else's moment that I just thought that was an amazing moment in what past TV would think to do. Like, we got to fill the frame. Let's stick these two background actors in the middle, but have them emote. Have them emote more than Shatner and Majel Barrett. So I'm going to make those two folks my drunk Shimoda. What about you?
I'm going to join you on that square myself, Adam.
Nothing robotic about the warning bois segment of the show, Ben, or is it actually explicitly, specifically robotic? The idea of a bois, even.
Yeah.
You could say,
ooh, yeah.
Something Dr. Korby could possibly fuck.
This is maybe a question for Judge John Hodgman. Is a bois a robot? Somebody send that in. I'm not going to.
I mean, you don't want the reputation of fucking a bunch of bois. That's a career-limiting move in most fields.
Right. I mean, depends, But this is a segment where we express our appreciation to friends of DeSoto who've gone out there and recommended the show or left a nice review.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy.
A warning buoy.
This one has been redacted by the Card Daddy, but I think it's important to share. I think this is based on context clues, maybe an Instagram message that we received. A friend of DeSoto sent in that they got a best boss I ever had tat on their bicep. And I'm guessing this is a London FOD based on them wanting us to come back to London, which we really hope we can sometime soon.
Or just a weird, cool thing of someone to do supporting a city they don't live in. That could be it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sad you guys didn't go to London this year. Not that I would have gone.
One thing I want to say about this tattoo placement, and I'm not a tattoosman personally, but I do know many.
We're both uninked members of the community, aren't we?
I have heard that the place that this FOD was tattooed, which is the inside of their upper arm, like close to the pit, the armpit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very painful and sensitive place to get tattooed. So there was a bit of discomfort, and not only in terms of embarrassment, but actual pain to this location.
They were going to get it tattooed on their neck, like across their Adam's apple or whatever.
I mean, that would just feel too good, wouldn't it?
And they were like, I want it to hurt more.
Yeah.
Give it to me on the inner arm.
I mean, this way you're walking, swishing your arms. You're going to feel that for weeks.
Yeah. And every time you show how strong you are, people see.
Yeah. I mean, one of the big exercises in the gym is like the military press. And you can't do a military press without someone seeing this tattoo.
Every time the sun's out, this tattoo is out. And I fucking love this.
It's great.
One of very few greatest gen tattoos that I'm aware of out in the world. And I'm so excited that we bagged another one. Thank you, anonymous sender-inner of that. And thanks to everyone who recommends the show to a friend or leaves a review.
What an advertisement this is.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Send us your tattoo pics. And I just mean generally. Love to see them.
Yeah. Defested's got like a growing arm sleeve of all the great ships of sci-fi.
You could call it an arms race, couldn't you, Ben?
You could.
Let's see them.
Well, that is just about it for another great episode of Greatest Trek. We got to thank our producer, Wynde Priddy, who's going to be taking us out, telling the folks about what's happening next week. Bye-bye.
Don't ask to see her tattoos, though.
No, not appropriate.
Nope.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Next week, Ben and Adam will be back with a new review of Star Trek The Original Series. The episode is called Miri. A strange group of children are discovered on an Earth-like planet. As always, we want to say thanks to the members who contribute monthly to help keep this show going. Setting up a membership is super easy at MaximumFun.org/join, and we really appreciate your support. Thanks to Adam Ragusia for composing the theme music, and thanks to Rob Adler and Bill Tilley for working on the @Greatest Trek social media pages that you can find and follow online. And be sure to use the hashtag Greatest Trek when you post about the show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported directly by you.